How you doing? I'm Sean McVeigh with Sean's Outdoor Adventures, and in this video I'm going to do a review for you on the PSE Evolve 31 and the Evolve 35. I just measured the axle to axle on each. This one is exactly at 31, this is at 35 and an eighth. Brace height is just over 6 inches on both. I'll go over all those details again at the end. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the Evolve 31. Okay, scratch that. We're going to start with the Evolve 35. Because I went to pull back the other one and I was like, wait, that's too light. And I looked down, it was a 60-pound limb that I had grabbed. So they're going to set me up with a 70-pound limb. And I got to say that I'm back at Miller's Gun Shop. They just rearranged and kind of widened their range so it looks a little different. And a special thanks to them. I mean, they really put in a lot of work to help me get these videos put together for you. So if you're ever driving through Mill Hall, Pennsylvania area, make sure you stop in and check them out. So the bows are set at 70 pounds at 30-inch draw, and I'm going to do some back wall check. That's how I always start. I'll also mention that I'm shooting 3 arrows at 350 grains with no fletchings because, as you can see, we have a whisker biscuit here, and I didn't want the friction from the fletches going through here to throw off the readings. So anyway, I have all the reviews I've done, no fletches, and and I also do 3 shots with a 550 grain arrow. So let me check out this back wall here. Also, I've measured 3 feet 6 inches from the chronograph. I've done all the shooting from that distance. So let's check out the back wall first. Pretty solid back wall. I can move it a hair, but not much. I would give it like about a 9 out of 10. The 10 out of 10 is you can't move it at all, but this one, it moves very little. Now I'm going to let down. I'm trying to let down. Trying to let down. Wow, that's a 10 out of 10. That really stays on the back wall. It's pretty impressive. So let me get up here, set the meters up. 3 feet 6 inches away. .330 feet per second. 75.2. 75.2. Okay, now I'll shoot the 550 grain arrow. Just got the Evolve 31 back with a 70-pound limb. First I'll do the back wall test. Same as the other, give it a 9 out of 10. You can move it just a tiny bit, but you know you have to pull pretty hard to do it. And letting down, this one came off just a hair easier than the other one, but it still stays on that back wall real nice. .341, 77 point. .342, 70. 343. 6.4. All right, now the 550 grain arrow. 274. 275. 73 points. I want to just talk about this a little bit before I close the video. It's a very quick bow. I like a longer to axle, so let me grab the 35. Like if I was buying a bow today and I wanted to get one of these, me personally, I like a longer axle to axle, so I'd go with the 35. They both are very fast bows, and the 35 actually stayed on the back wall better than the 31. I do like the fact that they upgraded their roller guide here, as you can see right there. In the past they had what just seemed like it was a flexible plastic rod there, and you know, when you pay a lot of money for a bow, you know, sometimes something like that for me was like, well, it looks like they could do a little better, and they did do a little better. I do like the new roller guide system they have for these bows. I also like the price. Currently at Miller's they have them, yeah, $8.79 for that one and $8.79 for this one, or basically $8.80. Which is a little cheaper than, or less expensive than most of your other flagship bows. So to have a bow that produces that much speed is kind of nice. All right, so let's go over the results that I got from shooting the PSE Evolve. First of all, let's take a look at the Evolve 31. From my testing, the speeds that I was getting were, it averaged out to 342 feet per second. You can see I measured the brace height. It came in at 6 inches, 6 5/16 inches. Axle to axle was 31 on the nose. If you look over at their ratings, it was actually pretty close. I mean, their estimated speed is 346 feet per second. You can see their brace height, ATA, draw lengths, draw weights available. The price that I have marked here, I got that off of their website. Miller's had a little bit of a discount on their models in the stock right there. Let's look over at the noise. It was 77.2 decibels for the 350 grain arrow. And then we look over at the back wall rating. Now I just want to address this real quick, because the back wall rating, how solid the back wall, I gave it a 9 out of 10, and it's a cable stop bow, and so that's about as good as you can get for a bow that has the draw stops that hit the cable. But the back wall, that last rating I have as far as the let down, how easy it is to let off the back wall, the Evolve 31 came off the back wall a little bit easier. However, that is possibly related to where they had the let off set. I didn't verify with them, and I didn't even think about this till I was going over the data afterwards. These bows can go up to a 90% let off. So you're holding very little when you're back here. So if the Evolve 31 was not set at 90% let off, obviously it's going to come off of that back wall easier than if it was set at 90% let off. Again, if I had a way of verifying it, I didn't have a bow scale that I could use to test the poundage and everything. There isn't a setup there where I could do that. But going into next year, as I've said before, I want to get a portable draw board with a scale on it so I can, test these things right on the spot and see where these bows are at. Anyway, I'm just saying that could be a contributing factor why the 31 came off the back wall easier than the 35. I mean, if you look down on that side of the sheet there, the Evolve 35, I gave it a 10 out of 10 for coming off the back wall, because it just didn't want to go down. Felt like I was pushing my hand forward trying to get it to come down, and it finally did. So it really stays on that back wall really well. But let's look at some of the other ratings for the Evolve 35 now. So the Evolve 35 clocked in at 330 feet per second. There's your brace height, 6 5/8. ATA was 35 1/8. Their estimated speed was 340 feet per second. If you can change the let off, having a lower let off, let's say 80% let off instead of 90, well, that could increase the speed of the bow a little bit, but it's also possibly going to be coming off of that back wall a little bit easier as well. So those are some things that I'm not sure of, as far as how those bows were set up, if they were factors involved with these numbers. Let's look over at the noise. I came in at 75.6 decibels for the 350 grain arrow. Back wall rating at 9 out of 10 for how solid it was, and as I said before, 10 out of 10 for letting down off the back wall. All in all, I think this is a really nice bow, and I actually am happy about that, because I don't know if you know this or not, but I've been picked by Drury Outdoors to do a project with them. And when they picked me for that, I was thinking, man, well, PSE is one of their big sponsors. You know, it looks like I'll probably end up shooting a PSE. And I didn't know what I'd be getting myself into, if I was going to like the bow. And I mean, nothing is official as of right now. I haven't signed anything. It's been all through emails, like, you know, verbal acceptances and in written emails and things like that. But, you know, the chance is I'll be shooting a PSE Evolve. And I'm totally happy with that. It's a really nice bow. I'm going to go into, in the next episode, I'm going to go over all the bows and tell you what my top picks were. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Also, I'm going to record a video in case people are now curious. I'll record a video on how it is that I ended up kind of being picked by Drury Outdoors to do a video production project with them next year. To, as of right now, the intention is for it to air on, you know, the Outdoor channel, as far as I understand. I will tell you how that ended up coming about. Stay tuned for the next episode in the Compound Bow Review series, because I'm going to give you the synopsis of all the bows for this year. In the meantime, thanks so much for tuning in. Take care and God bless.